You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Yeah, baby, he's dominating right now.
It's actually Sunday.
That's not when people will hear this, right? I guess some people watch us live.
Back in the good old days, we used to open every show with
Yeah, Monday.
Good morning and welcome to the blah blah blah.
The blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm just excited. It's been a long time since I've been on the show, I feel like. And so I'm excited.
It's only been a couple weeks though.
What?
Right? Hasn't it only been a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Only a couple weeks?
Well, your life has taken some twists and turns in the meantime.
Yeah. I have another new baby.
Yeah.
And I say another because I still feel like my son's new. He's only 20 months old. My daughter was born a day after he turned 20 months.
What is the threshold for when you stop saying
Right.
a kid's age in months?
I've had this discussion.
Is it 2? Like when they're 2 years old, they're just 2?
I'm definitely stopping at 2.
Okay.
I understand if people want to stop at 18 months
Yeah.
as well. That makes sense.
Right.
The only reason
But
I
then-
still am this specific is because people are always like, wow, what's the age difference there? Like Anchor is really
Yeah.
little. So
Yeah.
that's why I get really specific with it, I feel like.
I feel like if you stop at 18 months, then that's actually worse because the first 6 months after they turn 1, they're still closer to 1. But then what do you say if you're like, say you have a 20-month-old child?
Yeah.
If you stop at 18 months, what do you say? They're 1? Because then they could be anywhere between 12 and
No, you
23.
You say they're 1.5.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
What if they're 23 months?
Then you say they're
Almost
almost
2. Okay, yeah, I like it.
Okay.
All right. And then
Yeah.
once they turn 2, it's just boom, there's
They're
no
2.
more months.
Yeah, no more months. They're
There's-
just 2.
How
Exactly.
does the sizing, the clothing sizing?
The clothing size is the
Oh,
Figure into
worst.
that.
Well, you go to 2T at that point, and then it's just 3T, 4T, 5T.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's up to does it go on months up to
I-
2T?
It does, actually.
Okay.
It goes 18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
Is the last size before 2T, I think. Is
I think that
18 to
sounds
24.
right, yeah. It's been a while since I had a baby, but
Yeah.
that seems right to me.
Yeah, and now I'm learning about preemie size clothes
Oh,
because, not because she was preemie, she's just that tiny. 5 pounds, 1 ounce. Tiny, tiny baby.
Tall though.
Yeah, a half-inch taller than Anchor at birth. So, and Anchor had 1.5 pounds on her. So, maybe she'll be the tall one of the family.
Who knows?
I'm rooting for her to get taller than Daniel.
That would be dope.
And Anchor be built like you or your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there height on either
Yeah,
side
but
of
I'm
the
not
family?
actively rooting for that, Daniel. I'm actively rooting for your daughter to be taller than you.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
because I'm not tall,
that'll
but
just make my whole life.
I'm not tall, but my children have always been like, well, maybe we'll be tall because my uncles are tall,
Yeah.
or like there's height on both sides of the family,
So-
even though it's not me.
I'm considered tall for my family. Like, I'm one of the taller ones. I think my cousin
And you're about 6 foot.
on my dad's side might be 6'1".
Okay.
I'm 6 foot. My great-grandpa, 6'7". But his son was 5'11". Ask
Yeah.
me how that works. I
How
don't
does
know.
that work?
Genetics.
One of the many mysteries of the world.
Yeah. I think my mom's...
Magnets. How do they work?
I think my mom's dad might be around 6 foot too. Yeah, magnets. Nobody knows.
I don't want to talk to a scientist.
Yeah, miracles. Wow, we're really getting off the deep end here.
I just
So,
made an insane clown posse
Yes,
reference.
you
So
did.
sorry about that.
on Courtney's
that's on me.
side,
Francis says that if you can understand women's sizing, then children's is a piece of cake,
that's a good point. Yeah.
which would explain why we're having trouble.
There's another weird thing. Sorry.
Women's
But
sizing?
Before
What
I
does
get
that
into
mean?
sizing a little bit more, Courtney's
Women's
side of
clothing
the
sizes
family.
are completely confusing.
Oh, I've never bought women's clothes.
Yeah. They're
Me
really
neither,
confusing.
but I've watched my wife do it.
Anyway, it's weird because Courtney's side of the family tends to have long torsos, short legs, and I have long legs, short torso. So there's a couple different combinations
Anchor's
that can
going to
happen.
be
then.
short torso, short legs.
If that happens, the poor kid will be pushing 5'2".
I think he
Veda
seems
is
very
going
normally
to be
proportioned.
long legs, long torso.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
and 6'4",
yeah.
Yep.
like the random grandparent.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe that's it. By the way, Andrew said her name. Her name is Veda Discovery
Oh, I'm
Hargrove. Yeah. She was born on Sunday, and I am very happy. And
she's
adorable.
beautiful.
Yeah, she's the best. So, but also not much sleep going on.
Anyway, this is the
Anywho.
Scrimmage. I'm Justin Domashevitz.
Shoe sizing. Let's talk about that. No, okay.
Daniel Hargrove here with me, our producer Andrew
me.
Gross. We are brought to you by Olipen Real Estate and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz. And even though that conversation was riveting, we do have a lot of other things we're going to talk about today. Local sports, we had a state champion wrestler. We've got district basketball wrapping up and the state brackets are out. We also have just kind of a little sprinkle of basketball, football that we're going to tackle right now in the 2-minute drill.
Let's go, hurry up! Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation, 44 seconds, hand the ball to ref. Gonna do it right. 3 jet Buckeye, don't worry.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patty Mahomes was caught shaking hands after exiting a porta potty during the team's Super Bowl parade. Hard hitting stuff here. Justin, you love Mahomes. Would you shake his hand in that scenario?
You know,
That's a tough one for him.
I do love Mahomes, Red Raider Nation, but no, sorry, Patty, I'm not doing that. If I watch you exit a porta potty, I don't care if you use the hand sanitizer that's inside the porta potty. You then had to touch the door to exit the porta potty. You probably didn't use the hand sanitizer. I saw how you were swaying when you came out of the porta potty, so no chance I'm touching your hand. I will wave at you from a
Didn't he
distance.
give a guy the Super Bowl trophy in the crowd? Like he handed it to
maybe.
the guy and then had to be like reminded to go back and get it from him.
Oh my gosh. Also,
He was having a
totally
good time.
faked that ankle injury. That's for another time, I guess.
Conspiracy theory.
Okay. Chiefs wideout Juju Smith-Schuster took a shot at Eagles DB James Bradbury on Twitter last week with a Valentine's card featuring Bradbury's picture saying, "I'll hold you when it matters most." Ouch. Bradbury's teammate A.J. Brown fired back, calling the post, quote, lame, and calling Juju, quote, TikTok boy.
Yeah.
Daniel, was Smith-Schuster out of line?
He wasn't out of line. He's just an idiot. Like, hey, it's not because it's not like he did anything good. He's just like, yeah, you committed a penalty. What? That's what you're going to with trash talk because you obviously are not that good, and that's what AJ Brown throws out there. Hey, like, hey, your career was over. The best quarterback in the league is what you needed to somehow find your place again. But you're not that good, and the only way you made an impact was because this corner randomly got a ticky-tack holding call on you, and now you're going to call him out? Like,
I
give
agree
me a
that it's
break.
lame. It's lame.
It's so lame. Damian Lillard won the NBA All-Star three-point shooting contest. Justin, thoughts?
Duh! Mac McClung brought some excitement to NBA All-Star Weekend with electrifying dunks in the dunk contest.
In the duck
Duck
contest?
contest? I won a duck contest at NBA All-Star Weekend. Ducks are
It
free.
would-
Look it up.
It
Daniel.
would also just be them doing dirty things like fouling people for no reason.
Daniel. I see what you did
Yeah.
there. Daniel, did McClung bring the dunk contest back?
That works.
That's a good buzzer, actually.
Yeah, that's
I support
solid.
that.
Yeah, solid. He didn't bring it back. He made this year fun because it's not good. The dunk contest is usually not good. Remember when Aaron Gordon lost
Yeah.
to Levine? There was some good dunks. I mean, I'm not saying Levine's dunks weren't good, but Aaron Gordon did some just bonkers stuff.
I think he holds the record for saltiest loser. Like, because he lost the dunk contest
He
twice.
should be on that last one. He did a dunk that you see on like pro dunker videos.
Well, he is a pro dunker, like literally.
Is he now? Like he
Well,
doesn't
he's
play
a
in-
professional basketball player who dunks for a living.
No, he's not a professional dunker. Get out of here.
Is a professional dunker the people that make the dilly bars at at Dairy Queen.
Oh yeah, they just dunk
Ooh,
them in.
yeah.
Solid there.
Yeah.
Or are they?
That's a
people
dunk contest I could get
Or
in.
are they pastors who do baptisms?
Oh,
Professional dunkers.
oh.
Yeah. There. Anyway, I thought it was fun. His dunks for the first time in a long time actually got me excited at the dunk contest.
I had no idea it happened.
Yeah. But it was a 540, not a 720.
I'd agree with that.
Still awesome.
Still
though.
awesome.
It's still awesome.
And then when he jumped over the two people, he kissed the ball off the backboard
Yeah.
before he
And-
dunked it, which was pretty dope.
How he spun on that one, it was like the 360 where he brought the ball down.
Yeah.
That one got me excited too, because like he jumped up and then like whipped the ball all the way down with two hands, and he did not start with a spin. He created all of the spin while in the air on that dunk.
Yeah.
And that was something that I thought was pretty unique. Like normally when you see a spinning dunk, they're gathering and they turn halfway on their gather, and then they keep like they're spinning as they jump. But that one, he like jumped up straight and then used the whip of the ball to spin himself after he was already airborne, and then dunked it. And I was just like, ah!
To be honest, that whole gather and spin before you leave the ground take is one of the sports takes I most associate with Daniel Hargrove.
Yeah.
It's one of your most passionate takes
It
that
is.
was not a 360.
Yeah. Well, when you gather,
And you're right.
yeah.
Like I have no gripe with it. It's just
You know, the only reason
But
why
higher numbers are more better, Daniel.
That's true. I mean, I played the video game 1080. That's the only reason why I know these numbers. It's because that
snowboarding game?
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
snowboarding
had that game too.
That game was awesome. 1080. You could do front flips and stuff.
Francis says
Great.
that the last dunk contest that was worth it featured Dominique Wilkins. Get off his lawn.
This was also the
Gosh,
first.
dang it, Francis is old. Man.
Yeah,
Like,
this was
seriously
the,
old.
I saw a post that said this was the first white guy to win the dunk contest since 1996, and Brent Barry won it.
What?
Right?
What did Brent Barry do?
He dunked from the free throw line.
See, that's so lame. So on the
I think that's
he
awesome.
got the white guy
I think they
boost,
should
though.
be
Okay,
doing
but
that every free throw if
how
they
many?
can.
You can't. There's a barrier. There's an
It's a
invisible.
bad rule.
Okay, but that's a rule. Hey, we talked about Wilt Chamberlain the other day. He's the reason that rule exists.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
he just would have.
He
Yeah,
would just
he would
throw the
have been
ball off the
awesome.
rim and intentionally jump
just-
forward and get it.
he
So
would
there's
just
a
dunk it.
There's an invisible barrier on the free throw line because of Wilt
That
Chamberlain.
is awesome.
I was going to say about the free throw line dunks. How
Yeah.
many times have you seen someone do an actual free throw line dunk? Because almost every time
There you go.
they call it a free throw line dunk, but they actually step on or over the line.
Yes.
In the same spirit as these fake 360s.
I was just talking about it. The Zach LaVine dunks.
Yeah.
He stepped well over the line every time, and they were like, "Oh, he did a windmill from the free throw. Oh, he did this from the free throw line." And they're showing the replay, and every time I see the replay, I'm like, "Well, he stepped across the.
I mean-
stepped across the free throw line every time. What are you guys talking about?
I
He
hate-
tried to do it from the free throw line.
I hate to be the one who brings it up, but Michael Jordan's free throw line dunk, he stepped on the line too.
Yeah. If this were the long jump in the Olympics, they would all have been DQ'd.
Yep, DQ'd.
Has anyone ever
DQ'd.
dunked from the 3-point line?
I don't
Oh.
think that's physically possible.
Wilt Chamberlain
That's
says.
what they said before Wilt Chamberlain played.
Well, they keep moving the 3-point line out too, though.
Yeah, I think that he would have to start with the high school 3-point line.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Somebody should try that. They're going to fall so bad trying to stretch out and get it. Dwight Howard
well,
would
that
just
seems-
throw the ball in because he couldn't jump far enough. What do you think about that one? That's one. It's one of the better dunks of the dunk contest. But he was trying to do something, couldn't, and so then just threw the ball in from like a foot away.
So
and
it's like an
everybody-
aerial layup.
Yeah, so he like jumped. He was trying to do a 2-foot dunk from the free throw line, or just inside, I think. And then he came up like a foot short, but he was still kind of high enough, so he just chucked the ball through down,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. But was it a dunk?
Well, some people consider anything that's thrown from above the basket downward with no upward motion. If it's above the basket and you throw it downward, people consider it a dunk.
In that case,
I
you could
disagree with that. I
definitely
think there
dunk
needs to be
from
rim
the
contact.
3-point line.
What?
You're
In
right.
that case, you could definitely dunk from the 3-point line if
I
you
still
just
think
got
that
up
would
high
be
enough.
hard.
It would
Not
be
hard,
hard, but you could
Are you
do
saying
it.
that I could?
Hey,
With a step ladder.
I'm not sure if you ever saw Arvydas Sabonis shoot a 3-pointer, but it was basically
Laser
that.
beams. Good point. Good point. Those are laser beams. It's funny because like the modern day Arvydas Sabonis is Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
And he's the anti that on his 3-pointers.
Yeah,
he shoots them 50 feet up in the air.
Yep. Which is impressive that a tall guy also shoots tall.
Yeah.
I used to play against this kid in Shelton, and his name was Charlie Vernon. I'll never forget him because he showed us...
This is where we really we needed the Daniel,
Yeah.
The story time, the imaging.
That's true. He was when I first heard of a box and one defense because the dude would just hit threes like crazy. From the point where he was 10 years old, we had to use a box and one defense on Charlie from Shelton. And he shot freaking moonrakers constantly. Like, they would go up, and every time I'm like, is that going to hit the ceiling? Nope. Nothing but net. Okay. All right. This guy. Anyway, sorry. That was random
That's okay.
version.
I like it. Glory days.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we do have...
If my dad's listening, he will be like, Charlie, remember that kid?
This has been a really fun conversation, but I would like to move on to our next segment, which happens to be my favorite part of the show.
Serving questions up on a silver platter where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Time for Stump Daniel.
Oh, we both went high there.
Stump Daniel is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz, and I decided to do something a little different, a little special this week.
No.
I thought, you know what? We had one state champion this week.
Yes.
Right? And we will talk
We were
about this
close
later.
on so many others.
We did. We had 5 wrestlers from Pacific County and Grays Harbor County that were in title matches. One of them came away with a win.
Yep.
And it was Mateo Sanchez. I thought it would be fun to do a little segment called Get to Know Your State Champ.
Oh.
So I
like
sent
this.
Mateo a whole bunch of questions
What?
and got his answers, and I'm going to test you,
And
Daniel.
he actually responded to you, even though you have, like, slighted him over and over again?
I have not slighted Mateo. I jokingly
Snub list.
Made
Mateo is
fun.
up there on the snub list.
I jokingly made fun of wrestling in a way that I was hoping people wouldn't take it seriously. But anyway,
you
that
also made fun of soccer at the same time.
soccer caught a stray.
Yeah.
It was unintentional.
For those of you who don't know, that means stray bullet.
That's violent.
That's all right.
Anyway, I would like to play a little game
Demonetized.
called Get to Know Your State Champ, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to give you multiple choice. You love multiple choice.
I love multiple choice.
And you will have to.
A, B, A, C, A, D, A, B, A, C, A, D. There you go. That's it.
You got 100%.
Kids don't use that formula. It
I've got
doesn't work.
10 questions, Daniel. Let's see how well do you know Mateo Sanchez. First question. What is Mateo's favorite food?
I don't think I've ever actually met Mateo, so not very well. I've
Well,
covered him in sports a lot.
From watching him play football,
Okay. What would his favorite food be?
is it a bacon cheeseburger, street tacos, pepperoni pizza,
Oh.
or a California roll? Which is sushi, for those who don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you were explaining that to me.
Isn't
No.
it a California roll sushi without any actual raw fish?
Bro, I have no clue.
I can't remember what's
I'm
in
sorry,
the
I don't eat
California
sushi. I buy it because my wife likes it, but I don't eat it.
roll. Some good options there. There's also good options in Montesano for all of those, aren't there?
Not sushi.
Oh, Monty doesn't have sushi?
No.
Oh, I thought that little teriyaki place might have it. Okay, never
I don't
mind.
think so.
Okay. So I'm going to X that one out.
I just ate at Oishi Teriyaki last week, though, and I love it.
It's good.
Katsu's good. Teriyaki
stuff.
food's good.
Yeah, solid. The Jeans Bacon Cheeseburger is great.
Yeah.
Pepperoni pizza at Westside or Geppetto's.
Very good. Get extra
Very
cheese.
good.
Extra cheese. Pepperoni pizza with extra cheese.
Street tacos. I guess there's not street tacos in Monte, right? Like you have to go to El Rancho for tacos.
Yeah, I've never eaten at El Rancho.
You lived in Monte.
Yeah.
You've never eaten at El Rancho? I've eaten at El Rancho. Next, you're going to tell me you've never eaten at the Beehive.
No, I've eaten at the Beehive.
Okay. Well, the Beehive's not there anymore, huh?
No, but I
That's
ate
sad.
there many times before it closed.
What about the other one?
the other one? Crow's Nest. Big Moon Bar.
Crow's Nest.
Actually, I ate at Crow's Nest a couple weeks ago. It was delicious.
It is delicious.
Yeah.
It's great.
You're stalling.
I am stalling.
Bacon cheeseburger, street tacos, pepperoni pizza, or California roll?
I'm going to go... Gosh, he's also such a great athlete.
What does that have to do with any of it?
Well, I feel like there's one healthier option there.
Oh, okay. Which one?
I feel like street tacos are way more healthy than a bacon cheeseburger or a pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
I'm going to say street tacos.
That is correct.
Yes!
Mateo Sanchez's favorite food is street tacos. Now, Daniel.
So good. I love street tacos.
What is Mateo's favorite drink? Is it root beer,
Okay.
iced Americano, Diet Coke, or blue Gatorade?
He's not drinking Diet Coke. Blue Gatorade. Cool blue. What's that flavor? Blue.
It's Blue Blast.
What was the first one?
Root beer, iced Americano, Diet Coke, or blue Gatorade?
So Mateo strikes me as a bit of a Renaissance man. So I'm gonna say the iced Americano. Final answer.
I'm sorry, but that is incorrect.
No, it was root beer, wasn't it?
Renaissance man Mateo Sanchez's favorite drink is Diet Coke.
No way! You gotta admit, if I got that one right, it would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
I took a risk, and it didn't pan out.
It totally paid off.
Daniel, what is Mateo's...
Diet Coke? Diet Coke.
It has a different flavor to it.
I know it has a different
Yeah.
flavor to it. A
Oh,
weird
some
one.
would say a worse flavor.
Yes.
But I actually kind of like diet soda flavor.
My dad had Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke all the time growing up. Ugh.
Daniel, what is Mateo's favorite sport to play? Is it soccer, wrestling, football, or ultimate frisbee?
Whoa. Throwing in the wild card there at the end.
Favorite sport to play?
I'm going to say... This is a tough one. I feel like I feel like our show takes a lot of shots at wrestlers.
Why?
Why would you feel like that?
Is
I have been...
wrestling-
Daniel,
Justin-
anybody
Justin has
who's been...
very vocal and apologizing.
The last 3 weeks have been very wrestler-centric.
That's true. But does anybody actually enjoy wrestling?
Well,
It's so hard.
oh, you're saying just
Wow.
because it's brutally
it's so
difficult.
hard. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's why. Yeah, I'm not
I see
saying
what
that
you're
it's
saying.
not an awesome sport. I'm
Yeah.
saying, can you enjoy something that is so difficult?
You're saying that the enjoyment you get from wrestling is probably from
vic-
having wrestled.
Yeah, like you won,
Yeah,
or you.
you did
Completed
well.
it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say and football's.
Mateo's really good at football. He's also really good at soccer.
Yeah.
And he's really good at wrestling. I assume he'd kick butt at ultimate frisbee.
Yeah.
Never played it with him.
But I have played frisbee with a former state champ wrestler in Kyler Pranty.
I'm disappointed that I missed those ultimate frisbee days playing with Kyler Pranty.
Yeah. He was only like a freshman or sophomore.
Hutton
I think.
Napier too.
I played with Hutton.
Yeah.
He gave me the most debilitating ultimate frisbee injury I've ever had. I couldn't walk normally for like a week.
You got
He
hut
was
smashed.
probably so
I did.
kind about it.
Well, he didn't do anything. Like, we collided in the air, and his knee hit my thigh, and I literally couldn't walk normally for a week.
You know, it's tough. I'm going to go with soccer because I enjoyed playing soccer a lot.
Soccer is correct, and you are 2 out of 3.
Yes.
Moving on to the next one, Daniel. What is Mateo's favorite sport to watch? Is it soccer, football, wrestling, or ultimate frisbee?
I'm going to go football.
Ooh, I'm sorry, you got another one wrong.
Soccer.
It's wrestling.
Wait. What kind of wrestling?
Pro wrestling.
I assume...
Like Olympic wrestling
High
or
school
like
wrestling.
WWE or high school?
I just assume it's like high school style wrestling.
Okay. Interesting.
I actually like...
That's interesting.
If I'm being honest, I think the difficulty with wrestling as a spectator sport is not the actual action. It's the fact that the meets
Understanding it.
are crazy long.
Oh.
Like they're like 8 or 9 hour long meets sometimes.
They're like longer than track meets.
And the people, like, unless you're really interested in the person who's wrestling, whether it's someone you know or someone who you've heard, like, oh, this guy's really awesome, you got to watch him do it.
Yeah.
It's not always. It's just hard to invest such a large amount of time for a small amount of action.
Yeah.
Unless you're just super into wrestling.
Yep.
And like you want to watch every match. But I watched a lot of wrestling, like, highlights from the Matt Classic. I enjoy watching it. I just don't know if I'd want to watch 8 hour, like go to an 8 hour.
Yeah, I see wrestling highlights pop up on my feed every now and then. I always watch it.
Yeah. Well, you're 2 out of 4. Moving on to the next one. Daniel.
We should go like cover a wrestling meet sometime.
I kind of wanted to cover the Matt Classic, to be honest, but things have been like so nutso schedule wise.
Oh yeah.
That it was just not a possibility.
My life's been so weird lately. I don't know what a schedule is.
Well, you said Monday to open this show. So
That's a good point.
even though it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Daniel, what is Mateo's favorite video game? Is it Fortnite, Call of Duty, Madden, or NBA 2K?
Gonna go.
Do you know all those video games?
I do.
Okay.
There's only one that I haven't played before.
Which one?
Fortnite.
Okay.
But I hear it's hot with the kids.
Dude, I played Fortnite. I played Fortnite one time. I totally no-scoped this noob with a shotgun. It was awesome. The kids were really impressed.
You just said no scoped with a shotgun.
Yeah. If you played the game, if you were a gamer, you'd get it, all right?
Oh.
I became a gamer the one time I played Fortnite.
You also said noob, which
Yeah.
I feel like 20 years ago when we were playing video games would be really cool, but...
No, they're still noobs.
They still call them noobs?
Oh, yeah.
So your son Mac,
Yeah,
playing video games online,
yeah.
yells at somebody that they're a noob.
When I shot the guy with the shotgun, who do you think told me that I no-scoped some noob?
It's good to know that noob is still being used. Noob's a solid term.
In Call of Duty, we used to call people that ran around shooting people with a shotgun the noob tubers,
Okay.
because the shotgun is the noob tube.
I like using a sniper in Call of Duty.
That's me.
Oh.
I'm the noob tuber.
I would be what's
a
called
rocket launcher in any game was my favorite.
In Call of Duty, I would be what's called a camper. I get a sniper rifle, and then I hide somewhere and try to shoot people as
You
they
and
run
my
by.
sister. Do you remember playing GoldenEye with my sister?
Yeah.
She would literally sit in a corner with the golden gun and just shoot people that walked through a door.
And you were like, dude, kill count matters, bro.
Francis wants
Kill to death
everyone
ratio.
to know that Shami is a legendary screen peeker.
That does not surprise me.
Accurate. Daniel, what is Mateo's favorite video game?
Call of Duty. Final answer.
Ooh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's Fortnite.
Darn it! I was going to say Fortnite.
You're 2 for 5.
Oh, that's not a good percentage.
Daniel, what's Mateo's favorite TV show? Is it The Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Game of Thrones, or Impractical Jokers?
I'm going to go Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Ooh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's Impractical Jokers.
That was my second guess.
That's such a good show.
It is good. Solid.
I have 2 separate T-shirts that are from that show. One says "Cran just make basketball," and the other one says "Don't stop letting people not help." Fans of the show will get both of those jokes.
My favorite part, though, is the potato one. The mashed
Scoopski potato.
Scoopski potato.
Scoopski potato.
Scoopski potato.
Scoopski potato.
Scoopski potato.
Joe was always my favorite.
So good.
He's gone now.
Oh.
Not dead, but just not on the show anymore. Daniel, what is Mateo's favorite pre-game or pre-match pump-up song? Is it Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys? Is it the Scrimmage podcast intro music? Is it Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus? Or
Daniel's favorite.
or Eye of the Tiger by Survivor?
Whoa. Wow, there's not an obvious answer there.
It's the Scrimmage podcast intro music, obviously.
Obviously. I was waiting for newer song. Like, even that Jay-Z song's pretty old, right?
Is it?
It's not... I mean, Jay-Z... When was the last time Jay-Z...
You've heard that song. You know that song, right, though?
I think I've heard it.
New York, concrete jungle, wet dreams, tomato.
Yeah, but that's an old song.
Is it? I have no idea.
2009.
Yeah, that's
old.
That's
Yeah.
14 years ago, Justin.
Yeah, old. Wow, I was thinking it was recent. Now I feel like old.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So I'm going to go extra old. I'm going to go Eye of the Tiger because that was a huge pumped up song when I was a kid.
I'm sorry, but you're wrong again. You're
Dang
doing
it.
really badly. You have two
Wait,
out
what
of
was the right answer?
Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys. You're 2 out of 7.
That's
You
not
need
good.
to redeem yourself here.
I
You're
need
going to end
a-
up in the duck zone.
Apparently, I need to hang out with Mateo.
What
we
is?
can go drink Diet Cokes.
I'd go for some street tacos.
Street tacos, I'm down for.
What's your street taco spot? I do La Salvadoreña in Aberdeen.
I can get that. I like either Franco's.
Where's that?
It's over next to the bowling alley.
Okay.
Or the place that used to be in the mall. It used to be Los Gallos, but now it's Taqueria San Jose.
Okay.
Now they're in where La Unica was. Those are my two spots that I like.
Okay.
For tacos, Franco's is probably better, but for the burrito, like the massive burrito, big as your head, I would go to San Jose.
My order at La Salvadoreña is 4 steak tacos and 2 cheese pupusas. Pupusas are so good.
The pupusas are good.
So good.
Yeah, and they, I feel like, are the only place that have those. I feel like that's more of a Salvadoreña, like El Salvador place.
Daniel, what is Mateo's favorite NFL team? Is it the Seattle Seahawks, the Tennessee Titans, the San Francisco 49ers, or the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm going to say Seahawks, but I have no idea.
You fail. You're 2 for 8. The correct answer is Tennessee Titans.
Are you kidding me? I thought you threw that one in there as like, I'm going to throw in my favorite team.
Maybe I thought you'd think I would do that. Clearly, you can't choose the wine in front of you. Daniel, what is Mateo's favorite soccer club? You're down to your last 2 questions.
How many questions are there?
There are 2 more. There's 10 total, and you have 2 right out of 8.
How many? Oh, wait,
I'm beginning
does
to
he
think
even have
that-
a chance to
I'm
get
going to fall into
out
the
of the
duck
duck
zone.
We'll see. I haven't
This is
decided.
going to be 2 weeks in a row of somebody ending up in the duck zone.
Yeah.
It's
It
not good.
stinks down
Daniel, I'm beginning to think that maybe you don't know this guy you've never met very well. Question number 9. What is Mateo's favorite soccer club? Is it Seattle Sounders, FC Barcelona, the Portland Timbers, or Manchester City?
Ooh, Man City, huh? Not Man U.
Man City's better.
I like how I'm thinking really hard about
You
this.
are really you're putting all into this. Well, because the stakes are high.
Doesn't want to end up in the duck
I
zone.
know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. You want to go the Seattle team, but that just burned you on the NFL teams.
No, I'm not going either Seattle or Portland.
Okay.
It's between Man City or Barcelona.
And that's because you know Mateo has a sophisticated soccer taste, and he wants to see the Premier
He
League.
wants to
teams.
actually see good soccer,
Yeah.
yes. I'm going to say Barcelona.
FC Barcelona is correct.
Yes!
Good job, Daniel. You now have 3 out of 9. You need to
So
get
I'm good at baseball.
you need to get this one right to avoid the duck zone. You can get to the Husky zone if you get this one right.
You know that Tony Gwynn could have gone 0 for like 1,100 in his last season and still hit 300 for his career?
That is
Sorry. I just threw out a random fact to make myself feel better because I'm stuck in this.
I'm so confused. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, Daniel. What is Mateo's favorite college sports team? Is it the Washington Huskies, the Washington State Cougars, the Oregon State Beavers, or the Oregon Ducks? Now remember, you will end up in the duck zone, the least desirable zone to you, if you get this question wrong.
I'm going to go with the zone that I could get into if I get this right. The University of Washington Huskies.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. It's the Oregon Ducks. And ironically, you will end up in the duck zone because you did not correctly get the ducks question, even though ducks are free. Look it up. That will conclude Stump Daniel, which is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A.
I
Domashevitz.
take back what I said. He is not a Renaissance man.
What does that actually mean?
I don't know. But it sounded good. And nobody who's a Ducks fan can have something that sounds good.
That's a phrase that I'm a little embarrassed to admit I've heard 1,000 times. It's always said pretentiously, and I don't really know what it means.
I'm pretty sure it means that you have a wide variety of tastes and skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you think about I just blanked out.
Like Sir Isaac Newton. He was a Renaissance man.
Sure.
He was an artist, a scientist. Yeah. He did many different things well.
The way Andrew answered that was not the way the words came out of his mouth. Sure.
No.
Yeah,
I'm still
Isaac
trying to
Newton, sure.
But yeah, it's somebody who's good at a lot of different things.
Okay. Well, then Mateo is a Renaissance man. He is good at a lot of things. Defensive MVP, football, state champ, wrestler, assuming some kind of a soccer all-league
Leonardo
thing
da
coming up
Vinci
this spring.
Leonardo da Vinci is the epitome of the Renaissance man.
Is that the guy from Titanic?
That's definitely who I was thinking of when I said Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I pictured an apple falling on someone's head.
That's why I was.
That's
Sir
why
Isaac
Andrew
Newton
said
was,
sure.
Sir Isaac
And
Newton was a very talented mathematician.
Yep. My bad.
Leonardo da Vinci is the guy from Titanic.
Yes.
And what's the movie that he's in about dreams?
Inception.
Inception.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yep. Great movie.
Renaissance man.
Yep. He can act about boats and dreams.
Daniel, do you want to do your youth sports discussion before or after the commercial break?
I don't know. That took a long time to do the Stump Daniel. So
You want to throw it at the end and do it like a mailbag? Or do you
I
want
do have a thing for the mailbag.
Ooh. How about we do, let's keep it tight,
Okay.
and you go ahead and say what you want to say, and I will respond.
So I was cruising along Instagram, and if you know me, you know that I am interested in baseball and coaching baseball. So there's a decent amount of stuff that pops up on my feed about swings and different training and stuff like that. And I stumbled across this one reel where this guy's like, hey, if you want to know how much your kid should be swinging every day, here's a little formula this other coach told me. And it was some really long, drawn-out formula. That
It was a very convoluted
It was.
mathematical formula.
It was. And it basically came out to about 7, I think somebody in the comments said 7.14 times the kid's age.
Yeah.
Because for a 12-year-old, they should be swinging 85 swings per day. Not 85 swings per day during baseball season. They just said 85 swings per day. And I'm like, can't we just let kids play baseball and have fun? And so I posted a comment similar to there. And if you want your kid to train, that's fine. But the response is what got me more fired up than I think the video did. The response was, the question that needs to be asked is it fun or are you trying to make it your career? This advice is for those who are looking to be elite. Elite players put in the work. If it's just for fun, then you don't have to have a plan to play past high school. This is not for you, and that's okay too. Shaka sign. And I'm like, you just mentioned career and elite for a 12-year-old. A 12-year-old! In what scenario do you think a 12-year-old should know that he is going to be trying to make it to the pros? Because that's when it's a career. Playing even in Division I, Division II, that's not a career. That's something that's great to aspire to. that's a tiny percentage of kids who make it to a place where they can have their school paid for, which is awesome to aspire to. But you're talking about the sub 1% of baseball players who make it a career. And you're asking a 12-year-old to put in the work for that? The elite youth baseball community is bonkers. The stuff that they want elite 10 to 12-year-olds to 14-year-olds to do is bonkers. And who's the one profiting from it? It's not the kids. It's those coaches running these programs who are getting paid thousands of dollars by parents who think their 10 to 12-year-old is elite and they're going to be an MLB player. That's my rant for the day. I get so cringy when I see people talking about making it a career and being elite when you're talking about 12-year-olds. And yet, also, you throw into the fact, like, well, those kids can go play in their own league. That's fine, except for that's not true because all of those same parents have this delusion of grandeur that their kid's going to play in the Little League World Series. What's that require? Them to play with all the other kids in Little League. So you got this kid taking 100 hacks a day, 85 hacks a day according to this.
Yeah, don't exaggerate.
This 85 hacks a day, and, well, he was like, I didn't want kids to be taking too many, so that's why I asked for this formula. So you got these kids who are, like, training out of their mind, then going into Little League where kids are just having fun, and just dominating them into the ground.
How long does it take to take 85 swings?
If you're doing it right, it should take about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Because if you're doing it wrong, then they're not actually getting quality hacks.
Okay, that's fair.
Then it's just happening quickly, and then it gets sloppy.
I was just wondering if you could argue that it was something that, like, even if you're doing other sports, like, if you're a motivated athlete, maybe 85 swings is, if you're so blessed to have access to a pitching machine, that might be a good part of your, like, daily workout.
As a 12-year-old?
For an hour, that's probably, maybe 15 minutes of swinging every day, all season round.
I think the other hard part about it is, like, the implication that is that it's every day all the time.
Yeah.
So not that, you know, during baseball season, 5 days a week, your practice routine is 85 swings a day. But,
great.
And maybe they didn't outright say it, but, like, there's an implication that you have to be working all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I run into the struggle on this, because I think children should be encouraged, hey, if there's something you enjoy and you want to do it, you work hard to go do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have many stories about things with my own kids, some of which I've told on the show and some of which I haven't. I have a child that just loves the grind. So he does all the extra work because he likes the extra work. And I have to constantly encourage him to, like, slow down or take days off and do stuff like that because that's just who he is. But I do think there's value in encouraging kids to work hard, because once you achieve what your goal was, then you get the sense of fulfillment that, hey, I worked hard to get to this.
Yes.
But once we start putting, like, arbitrary numbers on this is the amount of work you should be doing every day all the time, we're imposing an expectation on kids that's not realistic. And the difficulty is that even if you're a parent who thinks you're really well in tune with what your kid wants, you can really easily burn them out and ruin their enjoyment of something that they could have otherwise enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
So it's always it's a fine line parents walk.
Absolutely.
How much should I encourage my kids to work extra and work hard? And how much should I make sure that I'm not, you know, even unintendingly, like if you don't intentionally do it, you can impose pressure on them to do these kind of things in a way that they might not even vocalize it. They might not tell you, hey, Dad, I don't want to do this today. But you got to give them chances to be kids and give them chances to have fun and do the things they enjoy. And I think that's the struggle, is we feel like when they start using words like elite career with a 12-year-old, that these things are being imposed on them in a way that makes them kind of lose a portion of their childhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much more I could get into with that. There was one guy that said just one quick thing, because there's multiple things I want to get into with that, but I won't today because we got a lot of good stuff to get to, and this was just kind of a random thing that happened as I was cruising through Instagram. But one person was like, are you saying if your kid wanted to play baseball every day, you wouldn't let him? That's taking the fun out of it. And I responded, no, I wouldn't let my kid play baseball every day, just like I wouldn't let him eat candy every day. It's not healthy. Why do you think we're seeing kids get Tommy John surgery at 16 now? And not just like one every couple of years. Multiple kids in high school are getting Tommy John surgery. That's not a good thing. There's a health factor to this. That's my big worry when it comes to it.
Should I not be eating candy every day?
I think it's just too late.
Yeah.
Okay.
For you,
So
go
probably
for it.
good.
Yeah, you're all right.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my rant. We can leave it.
Well, we're gonna do a
There's-
local sports roundup.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk basketball. We're gonna talk wrestling. We're gonna maybe do a certification of sorts at the end of the show.
Snap.
But we got commercial break, man. Commercial break.
Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Domashevitz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Domashevitz today at 360-612-3991 or visit domashevitzlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com.
And welcome back to the scrimmage. Whether you are listening on the podcast or watching on the YouTubes, thanks for listening. I'm Justin Domashevitz. Daniel Hargrove is here with us, as well as our trusty producer, Andrew Gross. We are brought to you by Ole Penn Real Estate and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz. You know, as we mentioned, we've got a lot of good stuff that we need to get into today. We're in districts for basketball. State just got completed for wrestling. In addition to districts being completed for basketball, we have brackets. We can announce what the seeds were for our local teams. But for now, let's kick off this local sports coverage with the local sports roundup. Grace Harbor and Pacific counties were well represented at the MAT Classic this week. Montesano's Mateo Sanchez, who is a Renaissance man, took home a state title in the boys 1A 182-pound weight class, and his teammate Cole Eckerson took second in the 132 class. I was told that match went to 2 overtimes and was super crazy and close. Elma had a couple of second-place finishers as well. Xavier Espinoza in the 106 weight class and Austin Salazar in 195. Hoquiam's Anthony Burtonshaw placed 4th in Salazar's weight class of 195. Aberdeen had a couple of placers in the 2A boys competition. Talathian Mookie Warnes.
Oh, you got the nickname in there.
You know what is funny about? I'll tell you when we're done with the
Okay.
local sports roundup. Warnes took second in the 106 weight class, and Aiden Watkins placed 7th in 145. In the 1B, 2B boys competition, Willapa Valley teammates ended up on the same podium in the 145 class.
That's
Tyson,
awesome.
Yeah, Tyson Portman placed second, and Carson Borden finished 5th. Acosta's Gage Grigsby placed 4th in the 195 class.
In the girls 1B, 2B, 1A, 2A MAT Classic. Whew. That's a lot of combos there. Elma's Haley Stoken placed 4th in the 135 weight class. Montesano's Kaya Roundtree, is it Kaya?
Kaya.
Kaya Roundtree placed 5th in the 170 class. Hoquiam's Devana Sansaver finished 4th in the 190. And Raymond's Nina Sirabun took 6th in the 235.
Montesano's girls basketball team cruised to its 3rd straight district title with a 72-36 running clock mercy rule win. Remember I said district title game?
Yeah.
Over
and
Seton Catholic on
they
Friday.
doubled them up.
The Bulldogs improved to 21-3 overall on the season by taking out a Cougar squad which carried a 20-2 record into the championship game. McKinley Dalen led Montesano in scoring with 20 points, including 5 3-pointers, while also recording 7 rebounds and 4 steals. Jilly Dalen added 19 points and 6 rebounds. Michaela Stanfield had 11 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals, and we will get into what Montesano has next when we look over the brackets.
Hoke Williams girls basketball team also ended its district tournament with a win and a state playoff berth. Wow, what a journey for that program.
So happy for them.
And Chad Allen, awesome. The Grizzlies eliminated Columbia White Salmon with a 53-44 overtime win in the district third place game. Chloe Kennedy had to leave the game early after a shot to the mouth left her with a bloody lip. She gets beat up in every game I watch. Sorry, I mean, she gets absolutely beat up in every game. She is awesome, though. She returned for 11 points, including 6 in overtime, gathered 17 rebounds.
That's just another day for Chloe Kennedy, 17 rebounds.
3 steals. Ella Folkers led Hoquiam with 18 points, 4 steals, and 3 assists, while Gracie Bonnie Spadlin had 15 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, and 3 steals.
Elma's boys basketball team earned a state playoff berth with a 78-69 district semifinal win over Eatonville on Tuesday. Traden Carter led a quartet of double-digit scoring Eagles with 22 points. Kaysen Seberg added 17, Grant Vesey 12, and AJ Holmes 10. Elma shot 47% from the floor, 41% from beyond the arc, and 85% from the free throw line in their second straight upset playoff win. The Eagles did, however, lose the district title game 61-53 to Kingsway Christian on Saturday.
Hoke Williams boys basketball season came to a disappointing end on Thursday with a 63-45 district playoff loss to Seton Catholic. Justice Stankovic led Hoke Williams with 14 points and 6 rebounds. Aiden Butcher added 9 points and 8 rebounds. The Grizzlies finished the season with a 17-6 record.
Central Washington University has announced that Montesano High School alumnus Adam Bighill will be inducted into the school's Athletics Hall of Fame next month. While playing for CWU, Bighill was the GNAC Defensive Player of the Year in 2010. He recorded 314 tackles, 46 tackles for loss, 11 sacks, and 7 interceptions as a Wildcat, then went on to become one of the greatest defensive players in CFL history, playing for the BC Lions and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He is a 3-time Grey Cup champion, 2-time CFL Most Outstanding Defensive Player, and a 5-time CFL All-Star. And that concludes the local sports roundup.
And he graduated the same year that I did, which makes me feel great.
It makes everything he does a little more special, the fact that you played against him.
Maybe
in soccer? Basketball?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, most everything.
Yeah. But not football, though.
Maybe if I had been training as a 12-year-old, I could have been elite like him.
85 swings a day?
85 swings a day. That's what it took. He was extremely driven as even a kid, I've heard about Adam.
I want to real quick, before we move on to the next thing, I want to review what some of the seedings were here.
Yes.
So obviously the ones that we were kind of like on the edge of our seats about were our 1A girls teams and also the Elma boys to see where they would be seated.
Yep.
Montesano's girls team, I think, got a pretty favorable spot. They'll be the 4 seed.
It's a good spot.
They'll play against the 5 seed Kings, and
which means even if they lose, they still go to state.
Right.
They would just have a win-or-go-home matchup if they lost. But since they're a top 4 team, they get to have a closer-to-home game. So this game will be likely held either in Tumwater or at Montesano instead of up in the Seattle area.
So being a top 8 seed is a really big deal because you don't have the elimination game, and being a top 4 seed is an even bigger deal because it affects where you play.
Yeah, and every time I explain how that all works, I finish it off with, "Thanks, WIAA. This makes a lot of sense."
If you're listening and you didn't get to see, Daniel did a very exaggerated smile and a double thumbs up at the camera. Hoke Williams girls ended up with the 16 seed. I knew they were going to end up somewhere in the 14 to 16 range.
Yeah.
It means that they'll have an elimination game against Freeman in a regional matchup, and they'll see if they can get to that Yakima State.
Why does it seem like one of our teams plays Freeman every year?
Good point.
Like, constantly.
Happens a lot.
Was that the team that...
The Scotties.
Was that the team that slid their foot under Paige Leisherness's foot?
Yes, it was.
Look out, Hoquiam. Chloe, you get beat up every game. Watch your feet. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Was
The
that bad?
Scotties
That was probably bad.
in the 1A boys bracket. Yeah, you should. That was bad.
Yeah, sorry. I apologize.
In the 1A
It was
boys
an accident.
bracket,
We'll call it an accident.
Elma, which I think it's notable. We haven't talked a lot about Elma's postseason because like most of it just happened this week.
Yeah.
Elma was the 3 seed
Yeah.
out of the Evergreen Conference.
This is
They are now the only boys basketball team from Evergreen 1A that advanced to state.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Eatonville got hit with some injury and illness in the tournament and ended up losing a couple games. Hoquiam, I don't know how to really explain what happened except that they started the district tournament
On
with a
fire.
bang
Yes.
against Le Center and
Yeah.
then just really didn't play well, play up to their capability the next 2 games and got eliminated.
Yep.
But, man, Elma,
Yeah.
being able to come in as the 3 seed and be the only team out of the league that makes the state tournament. I know it kind of stinks to be in that elimination round, but it's fair. I think based on the season resume, they'll be the 15 seed playing against Seattle Academy. So they'll
Winnable game.
Okay,
Just knowing just going off program history, winnable game.
good to know.
Yeah.
I think Elma has kind of proven, like they scored 28 points in the fourth quarter to beat Eatonville in that district semifinal game.
Nice. That's a
Um,
lot.
Yeah, because it was tied going into the third quarter, and then they just exploded in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. They got some dudes on that team.
They really do. Well, they
Yeah.
have a lot of different guys who can put the ball in the basket. They've got good defensive players,
Yep.
and they've got a lot of guys who do the little things.
Yep.
You got A.J. Holmes,
Yep.
Gibson Kane grabbing rebounds. You got Grant Vesey as kind of a glue guy
Yep.
who does a little bit of everything. You got Traden Carter, who, as a sophomore, for my money, is like the best all-around player on their team. And then Kason Seberg as well, who's proven
he could also be best all around.
exactly
Yeah.
elite defensive player.
Yep.
You know, can score when you need him to as well.
Yep.
So I do feel like while they haven't really like consistently proven it throughout the course of the year, for the tournament. In the 2B girls bracket, Raymond ended up the 12 seed, which I thought it's kind of on the low side of where they would probably end up. They've
Yeah.
been in like the 9 or 10 range in a lot of rankings for most of the second half of the year. So it's a little low compared to what I hoped. But,
Yeah.
you know, either way, whether you're a 9 or a 12, you're still facing an elimination game to start.
And you at least get that closer game.
Right, because
Yeah.
they'll be facing Davenport, which is the 13 seed.
Yeah.
In 1B, boys, we have 2 kind of close by teams that are in this tournament, and this bracket's nuts.
So weird.
Willapa Valley is the 4 seed, Oakville is the 8. So they avoid all the craziness.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go play those games where they're not elimination games.
Yep.
This is a 20-team bracket, which means that
It's the only category where they do this.
in 13 through 20 plays an elimination game, and then the winners of that play 9 through 12 for another elimination game to narrow it down to 12. And I think that the amount of teams is based on class size. So how many teams do you have participating in this classification determines how many teams you get in. But it's the only 20-team bracket that I could find.
Yeah. I gotta wonder though, like, where are they playing those games?
Good question. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so Willapa Valley as the 4 seed will be facing the Moses Lake Christian Covenant Christian combo, which is a 5 seed,
Okay.
and Oakville as the 8 seed will be taking on Welpinit, which is the 1 seed.
I've heard of the Moses Lake School as a program. I have not heard of Welpinit, which seems like it would be a great wrestling school
1B is kind of obscure. Like there's
because it's literally Welpin it.
oh boy, I missed that the first time you made that joke. I apologize. And then finally on the girls' side of the 1B tournament, Willapa Valley is the 12 seed, and they will be facing the 13 seed Orcas Island. I have one more note to make that didn't make it into the local sports roundup because I ran out of time. The Raymond girls finished the district tournament with a win over Tootle Lake, and that was it was 49-33. That's what put them in the tournament. Those 2B brackets in districts are nuts.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point where you can actually lose another game and stay in it, and then win a game and make it to districts. They're crazy.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah, so the Raymond girls and the boys were kind of in the same scenario. They both lost a game, which put them in an elimination spot they needed to win to get in. The girls won, the boys lost. So Raymond's girls, based on a 25-point performance from Kendall Koski, who made 7 3-pointers
Whoa.
in the game that put them into the state
Nice.
playoffs. And then a huge note for the Raymond boys, even though they lost the game, their leading scorer, Morgan Anderson, had 24 points, which put him over the career 1,000-point threshold.
Nice.
Which Raymond just cranks out 1,000-point scorers
Seriously.
somehow.
Yeah.
And Morgan Anderson, as a senior and in his final game, got to that 1,000-point mark.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
That's awesome. Wow. Lots going on. I got to say, having covered the Montesano girls last year at the state tournament pretty heavily, because they had a good state tournament run. They got a trophy, so that means they went through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Went over there. I stayed down in Wapato. My wife came. Our little baby came, who's now not our littlest baby, which is just weird to think about. My wife took pictures with my son strapped in a front pack. I am so disappointed that I'm not going to be able to head over to Yakima this year to cover that Monte girls
You
team.
might both need a front pack.
Oh, there we go.
I'm sure that you did a lot of good work when you were over there with your wife.
Sure.
She did better work.
Oh, yeah.
Her pictures, the pictures that she took of the Montesano girls, I have continued to use
Yes.
in a lot of our posts since then.
Yeah.
She did a phenomenal job.
Amazing.
And especially considering that was the first time she'd shot basketball.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Insane. And
I
she
don't
did it-
remember really anything that you did, but
Yeah.
I've been able to continue to use what she did.
Exactly. Yeah, that checks out. And she did it with an under 1-year-old on her, like, wearing it on a front pack. So
Yeah. So it sucks that you don't get to go. It's worse that she doesn't.
that's a
get to
good
go.
point. Yeah, that checks out. But that's a girls' team that, man, the drive and grit on that team, I am so excited for their state tournament berth. The fact that if they win this next game, they could be one of the teams with a bye.
Yeah.
That's huge. I haven't covered them since the beginning of the season, and when I covered them, it sounds like they've had some strategical changes due to how their personnel has grown throughout the season. So I'm excited to see how this team works. Maybe I shouldn't say this. I need to talk with my wife, but I'm hoping I get to cover them in the regional round.
Okay. That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
we'll see.
We'll see where the game is played.
Yeah, we'll
and
see
when.
where it is, and babysitters and help and all of that. But it sounds like, because I covered them when they played Tumwater and dominated Tumwater earlier in the year, it sounds like they've shifted some things up, and I think it's pretty exciting. McKinley is playing much more on the outside now than on the inside, which I think could be a huge boost for them.
Well, she does a lot of damage inside, and she gets a lot of rebounds.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I haven't got to watch them in person all season, but I have had several times where I either watch a game or check in and watch portions of games. And especially if you consider the fact that she hit 5 3-pointers in their last game.
Yeah.
I will assume that the emergence of her younger sister Jilly, who I knew she existed. She was not on my radar.
Evangeli.
Yeah, Evangeli.
Sorry,
or Jilly.
everybody calls her Jilly because they don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, but I'm at least going to give it a shot.
Yeah. So, yeah, I asked my son about that because he goes to Montesano High School, and he said, "I don't know, Dad. Everybody just calls her Jilly." So, anyway, I have felt like watching it that the emergence of Jilly Dalen, and because not only has she been able to score a ton,
Yeah.
she's also got a ton of rebounds.
Tons, yeah.
So her presence inside, I feel like, has probably given them a little more flexibility for McKinley to play outside on the wing, which she's phenomenal at.
Yes.
You know, not only shooting, but driving, and then she's still able to get inside and get a bunch of rebounds as well. So I'm just excited to see what this team is capable of.
Absolutely. I think big things. The Hoquiam team is interesting.
Yeah.
If they have a good shooting night, they can be dangerous.
Well, they're a really good defensive squad.
They are a really good defensive squad.
And Chloe Kennedy gets all the rebounds.
Just if there's a rebound, it's hers.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. So, but they are streaky from the outside and shooting wise. So it's.
I feel like there's a few names that come up a lot. Ashlyn Katie comes up a lot with really well-rounded games.
Yep.
Gracie Bonnie Spradlin comes up a lot with, when you get the stat line for those girls, it's always so many points, rebounds, steals, assists. Like there's not like one thing they specialize in. They just do a lot of everything.
Exactly.
And those are the kind of players you need in well-rounded performances when you get into the state tournament, especially if you, like you said, they're kind of streaky.
Yep.
So if you kind of lack that explosive firepower on offense, you really need to be able to be a gritty defensive team with players who do a lot of the little things.
And a lot of that's because so much focus is on Chloe Kennedy down in the post. Ella Folkers, she's been dealing with ankle injuries all year. Mm-hmm. So if she can stay healthy and have a hot night, I mean, she had 18 points, I believe, in this overtime win. Is it 18? Yep, 18 points.
Sounds right.
So, I mean, if she plays to that level, it's a very dangerous team. So
I think
it'll be interesting.
I think we talked about the idea of doing something called like the Winter Sports Athlete of the Week snub.
The snub list.
Because as I'm looking at it going, man, there are some really good athletes that haven't won an Athlete of the Week this year.
Yep.
So I think when winter sports are over, like when basketball state is over, I'm going to do a post that people can nominate. Here's all the kids who won Athlete of the Week. Tell us who the kids are that are the best ones who didn't win Athlete of the Week.
Yep.
Chloe Kennedy's got to be like top of the list there.
Easy.
She had 30 rebounds in a game.
Yeah. It's insane.
And we didn't name her Athlete of the Week. Something weird happened that week. I don't remember what it was.
What
Was
it
that
was.
when Maddie Gore scored 40, or did somebody get 1,000 points that week?
It was one of the two.
Yeah.
It had to be one of the two.
Yeah.
I was going to say we should call it the Trace Ridgeway snub list, but Trace won Athlete of the Week a lot.
Yeah, but
It's just he could have won it every
exactly.
week.
We could have had him be
Yeah.
our Athlete of the Week every week.
So we might have to try and figure out a name for that, but it would be hard to figure out who deserved it without actually getting it.
I want that to be a listener-driven thing.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to just get as many nominations from people. Like, throw in all the athletes, tell us why you think they're the biggest snub, and then we'll pick somebody from that.
Yeah, we've got a lot.
We have only a couple more things left. We have one thing in the mailbag, and we have a certification of sorts that we are going to do, and we're going to name an Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week. But first, commercial break.
At Ole Penn Real Estate, we have solidified our foundation on 4 core values. First, we continuously focus on growing our knowledge in the market and in our practices to bring the highest level of competency to our clients. Second, we provide a high level of integrity, compassion, and kindness in every aspect of our business. Third, we put the human element above business through humor, enthusiasm, and patience. And last but not least, we proactively respond to the needs of our clients. Our mission is to create a personal real estate experience, one person and one home at a time. With Ole Penn, it's personal.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you to our sponsors, Ole Penn Real Estate and the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz.
No relation.
What's the A stand for?
I was reading
There
a
we go.
text. I apologize.
That's all right. Thank you to our sponsors. Law Office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz sponsors
relation.
our Stump Daniel portion of the podcast and Ole Penn
nailed
Real
that.
Estate. You got it. So good.
And then I talked over it
Yep.
as you were continuing
Awesome.
to...
Is our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week, which we are getting to now.
I'm so
Justin,
professional.
Yes, the best.
I'm still doing it.
The most professional. Yeah, as somebody might say. It seems pretty easy this week, doesn't it?
I feel like
this
this guy
do you need a
would
drum
probably
roll or something?
be the biggest snub if we because we haven't named him
Yeah.
during the winter sports season. He hasn't been Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week yet.
Was he ever in the fall sports?
One time during
Okay.
football season, he had 15 tackles, a sack, and an interception.
Okay.
And he
That's pretty big qualifier right there.
total savage. Daniel doesn't know you at all.
Nope.
Renaissance man.
Yeah. Duck fan, which makes me cringe. But he also, Justin, the qualifier, you said that this state championship win, right?
Yeah.
How cool is this? That was his 100th
Yeah.
match victory.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's so
That is
awesome,
cool.
and we talked about this a couple weeks ago because Cole Eckerson, his teammate, who finished second, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned in the local sports roundup that Cole was in double overtime in the title match and lost by 1 point.
Yeah.
That is what I heard. Can't confirm, but that is what I heard. And Cole hit that 100 match win threshold a few weeks ago and was our Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week.
Yep.
But how cool as a senior to have your state title match be your 100th win.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. And when we talked about it before, Coach Klinger, Montesano's wrestling coach, told us he thought there were only 5 previous athletes who had done it before Cole in the 20-plus years he'd been coaching there. So it's a huge accomplishment. It's a rare feat. We had 2 guys accomplish it from Montesano in 1 year, and one of them did it in a state title match.
It's awesome.
And he's a savage.
Yeah.
I watched some videos of his state title match. It is like thrilling. Mateo is so quick, and I think that's the thing is I've seen a few match highlights of his throughout the year. One of them was just him making a guy look high and then spearing the crap out of him with his shoulder. Like, it looked like a football tackle.
Yeah.
Which is, how some of these sports kind of, have cross sections or intersections. Mateo is just so quick and so beastly strong. Not surprising that he's a good wrestler. And I really did enjoy watching the clips of him wrestling, and it's very impressive what he was able to accomplish. So, congratulations, Mateo Sanchez. I know you're a state champion and you got your 100th win, but this is a higher honor.
It is.
Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week.
Yep.
Even though Daniel doesn't know you.
That's true.
He only knows you 2 out of 10.
But
multiple choice.
Congratulations on your win of the Ole Penn Real Estate Athlete of the Week. Very impressive. We're very excited to see you perform so well in that. And anytime you get a state champ, it doesn't get much better than that. And the 100th win thing is just straight up cool. So, Justin, we do have one other thing.
A certification of sorts.
Yes,
that I've been teasing.
Not of sorts. The most important certification, isn't it?
A bucket getter certification. What
yes.
other kind of certification could be more important?
Yeah. What else do you need to be more certified in?
Scuba? Flying airplanes?
I mean, scuba, you're underwater, so you probably want to be able to breathe.
Neither of those are nearly as important as bucket getting.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm embarrassed that I even said them out
I've done
loud.
both of those things.
You scuba?
I have scuba'd. I do not. I have done.
Okay.
You have flown an airplane?
Yeah.
Whoa! We have a Renaissance man right here.
If one of the 3 of us was a Renaissance man, it would be Andrew.
Yeah, that's not.
And I would
that's
say
not
that
surprise.
even before I knew what that meant.
Yeah. All right, Justin. Do you want to take the lead on this?
I do.
Okay. I will try not to
Do you
cry when I follow
want
up.
a drum roll?
Sure.
Yes, I'll lead into it.
Okay.
Okay, so bucket getter certification.
Yes.
We have only 3. We named Kira Gardner of Raymond and Trey Seidel of Raymond certified bucket getters last season. This season, a couple weeks ago, we named Hoquiam's Michael Lorton Watkins a certified bucket getter.
Yep.
We had several kids on the watch list. We decided we were going to pick one more athlete, and the most deserving athlete that will be certified today as a bucket getter is Montesano High School senior and foreigner.
You messed it up.
Give me the drum roll again. Give it to me again. Montesano High School senior and future University of Minnesota Badger? Golden Badger? What are they?
Golden Gopher.
Golden Gopher. give me the drum roll again.
Okay. Certified bucket getter.
Montesano High School senior and future University of Minnesota Golden Gopher.
There it is.
McKinley Dalen.
Yes.
You are only the 4th in history
Yep.
bucket getter certified by the Scrimmage. Congratulations. It is I know you've had a lot of achievements, league MVPs, signing to go play Division I basketball, all kinds of stuff, but this is the greatest achievement that you will have in your life.
It's true.
You have arrived.
You've
You
peaked.
have arrived. You have peaked.
Yeah, not just arrived. You've peaked.
Yeah.
Everything else just kind of goes downhill from here.
What is there left to accomplish
Yeah.
once you're a certified bucket getter?
You have that certification. You can just put that on your wall from now on.
So just to review the criteria,
Yep.
you have to be able to, you have to score with volume,
Yep.
you have to score consistently, you have to score at all three levels, inside, mid-range, outside, and you have to be able to create your own shot.
Yep.
McKinley fits all those criteria. She has over 1,000 points in her career, despite fighting through injuries and a COVID season.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Nutso.
Yeah.
McKinley, you are extremely deserving of this
Yep.
certified bucket getter.
Absolutely. McKinley's one of my favorite players I've covered.
I can tell that's true because whenever I suggest that we should honor her, Daniel's like, she's a bulldog and I don't even mind.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Watching what she did last year blew my mind. And then the fact that she then had a teammate fight through an ankle injury alongside her to still play at the state tournament was just nuts. This Montesano girls group has like, it's weird that I like Monty so much when it comes to this team. Let's put it that way.
We've had emotional connections though.
Yes.
Like the Megan Choate teams,
Yeah,
the
that's
Jordan
true.
Spradlin teams.
Yeah, that's true. This one more.
Yeah.
This one more. Watching what McKinley did last year, fighting through that knee injury and just being like, I can get surgery later, blew my mind.
Yeah.
Especially then talking to other kids playing through knee injuries this year, and it's like, hey, does it hurt? Oh yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's even more so. Like, I didn't know how much the pain was, and if you like, I didn't know what it was going through. But the fact that McKinley did what she did last year and what she continues to do, it just blows my mind. So she's one of my favorite players, and the fact that so many kids who I think have fairly solid aspirations as to the next level and are getting some of those offers beforehand could have just shut it down, and yet
Yeah.
she didn't.
She had her best year.
Blew me away.
Yeah.
Just blew me away. So yeah, McKinley Dalen, certified bucket getter, one of my favorite players, and go get a state trophy. I mean, I know that Nooksack took you down earlier in the season, but you've seen them. You've gotten better. You've gotten healthier. Sky's the limit at the state tournament. Go get it.
Agreed. Go Bulldogs.
Yeah.
We have one more portion of
I
the
just
show.
said yeah to go Bulldogs.
Yeah, you did. You liked it.
I feel a little dirty.
We got a mailbag question.
The mailbag.
Yes, the
Send us your
mailbag.
stuff. Send us your stuff in a mailbag.
Is this the only chatter we had on the YouTubes?
No, we've had
Anything else worth noting?
Wes Cormier chimed in to say that he loved wrestling. Francis has been talking a whole bunch.
This is a good dude.
My wife said that her dad is 5'11" and her brothers are 6'3" and 6'4". So there's hope.
There is hope. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And Hannah's tall too.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I don't understand genetics. That's how.
Magnets.
It's our second Insane Clown Posse reference.
Don't go look it up.
What's up with islands? Get more land. What's up with deserts? Get less sand.
Okay, so we do have a question / observation from Francis.
Okay.
Oh,
for
God.
Daniel, he
no.
says Latitude 64 makes a disc called Anchor. It's a very reliable mid-range disc. Disc is in your daughter's middle name.
Ooh.
Any chance baby number 3 will be named Basket or Circle 2 or Heiser? You get the idea. Viva la disc golf.
Francis lives to froth. He lives to froth. Now that his high school basketball season is over, I imagine it's all froth all the time.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I thought
season.
I thought the names were all nautical. I thought Anchor and Discovery were both kind of nautical.
Nope,
I
they are
didn't
not.
know they were both
They're land-based.
disc golf.
They're land-based. Disc
Yeah.
golf.
So Heiser is an interesting name.
Heiser.
I could see Heiser.
You got some German heritage.
I do.
Heiser.
Okay, you're making it sound a little bit
Too
Not
scary.
Too German.
Yeah, you don't want to be scary German.
You
You want to
never
be
wanna
like
be Nazi.
you want to be like, oh yeah, lederhosen, yeah. You don't want to be like
Schnitzel.
yeah, schnitzel.
Schnitzel, a favorite treat for lots of boys and girls to eat. Schnitzel man, he makes them quick. It's a schnitzel on a stick. No more spoons. Use your hands, says the German schnitzel man.
The fact
You
that-
can save another one for later in your lederhosen. Yoli, 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 yoli,
You're all welcome.
Did I go too far?
You nailed that so perfectly from the very underrated movie Hoodwinked.
So good, though.
So good.
That was my 16-year-old son's favorite movie when he was like 5.
It's
I
so
watched
good.
it 1,000 times.
Oh, I need to watch it again. I might watch it tonight. That's solid. I mean,
And it's a good tip. You can save another schnitzel for later in your lederhosen.
yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Who remembers?
I don't know.
We were making fun of you,
Wow.
mostly.
So I think that's gonna do it for the show.
Yeah. So for my co-host Daniel, the Renaissance man, Hargrove,
And my co-host Justin, the Schnitzel man, Thomas
Yolio, and our trusty producer Andrew, the bad fur parent, Gross.
You've been listening to The Scrimmage.
Yolala, 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 yo.
Now I want Schnitzel.